All right, here we are in the shop. Basically, we've got two components to this. It'll be four, but I've already got one side finished, so we've got two components left to do the other side. We've got our positioning jig and our mount that we talked about a minute ago. Basically, it's as simple as it seems like it should be. You take our positioning jig, which has got two bolts welded into it, that drops right in where your factory SD or SD33 motor mount came off. Drop that on. You'll spin the nuts on the bottom side to hold it in place. And once that's in there, all of your measuring and all of your positioning and all the guesswork is out the window. You put those on, you'll snug up those two nuts, and now we've got our jig in place, at which point the only thing left to do is to take your mount, slide it on, drop it down, and you're done. This is now positioned exactly correct from front to back, left to right, up and down, everything to where a truck-based LS engine will sit in a Scout 2. It'll clear the pumpkin. This one's two-wheel drive, but if there was a pumpkin there, it would clear the pumpkin. It will be back as far as we can get it, that our headers that we're working on bringing to the market will clear the firewall and still give you good clearance up front for fans, radiators, whatever situation you've got going up there. So all you got to do is prep your frame on the top and prep it a bit down here for where our brace here will attach. And again, just slide that on, lay it down, and you're ready to roll. So let me go ahead and tack this in place, and we'll take that positioning jig off and go ahead and burn it in good. All right, that's in place, not going to fall off. We'll go ahead and pull off our jig. Just to get it out of the way so we don't burn up the paint. The way we will work these is this jig will be something that we'll send out with the kit with a refundable deposit so that you can use this so you don't have to worry about positioning. And then when we get it back, we'll refund your deposit back to you. So it just makes it something that'll make it a whole lot quicker and a whole lot easier on your end as you go to put these mounts on. Didn't burn this in good. With that done, you are basically finished. The only other part to this mount is the engine side, which we've got hanging here, that is made to bolt directly into the side of your standard LS-based engine, whether it be car, truck, or anything else. So at this point, the only thing we've got left to do is let the weld cool where we can get close to it, and we'll cut from this hole out on both sides of the mount, and then we'll break this off the frame. It actually snaps off really easy once you've got it cut into thirds. So we'll do that as soon as the weld's cool. I can get my hand close back in there, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, with that cut, now comes the really easy part. It's always shocking how easy these come off, almost always. We either take an adjustable wrench that slips up over it, or a big pair of channel locks, and we just twist. This one's actually on there better than most. We use channel locks and grab it up close, and should just be able to flex it back and forth about 3 or 4 times, and it starts to break off. And there goes your factory mount. Top piece breaks off. And the last piece. Once these are off, it's just a matter of coming back in and cleaning it up with the grinder, and you are ready to roll. Your LS engine will bolt in, and you'll be good to go. So we'll throw the engine in there and come back in just a minute. All right, and there is an LS based engine in a Scout 2 chassis. This one in particular is a 4.8 liter out of a 2001 Chevy Silverado pickup. It's 270 horsepower, 285 foot-pounds at 4,000. And I don't know the specifics on the weight, but I feel pretty safe in betting that this, with the aluminum heads, the composite intake, all the aluminum components and all that stuff on it, I would say that safely this would be 2/3 the weight of an SV and an automatic combination. We do have all the pulley driven accessories off of this one so that we can do our research on making these mounts work. But everything clears with it. We've got a 6 liter back here that's still got everything on it. We've got everything clearing the frame. You do have to take this mount off if you're going to run AC, and that mount needs to come off if you're going to run power steering in order to get the clearance in there. But everything fits if you pull the stock mounts off. The intake manifold is pretty tall on these, and it's got like a trash can lid that sits on top of it to cover it up. That all clears the hood. We've got Buku's a diff clearance on this one that doesn't have a front diff, but the diff clearance is there for 4-wheel drive also. We've got a set of headers that we're working on that are polished stainless that clear everything, firewall mounts, clear everything on these mounts. Can't guarantee if they'll clear if you make the mounts, but I know on our mounts we've tested it on a couple and it does clear everything well. Working back to the transmission, just a piece of square tube we've got sat in there now to hold it, but we are working on a cross member that hopefully will be a bolt-in deal to mount a overdrive automatic transmission. This one's a 4L60E, but 4L60, 65, 700R4, whatever overdrive automatic GM transmission outside of a 4L80, I'm not sure how they mount, but any of the smaller ones, they should all mount the same. So if we get our design work done and get our cross member working for that, you should have a cross member for that. And this chassis is actually for my own project. It gets this 6 liter engine and NV4500 5-speed manual overdrive. So we're also going to have a transmission cross member in the works to mount the manual as well. So hopefully in the coming months we'll have mounts, headers, and the rear mount to get an LS and whatever drivetrain combination, transmission combination you want. We should have all that coming out very soon. Should just make it a whole lot easier for somebody to swap an LS into a Scout, and believe me, once you've done it, you'll never regret it. So thank you guys, and hopefully we will be bringing some stuff out coming soon to add to our lineup. Thanks.